Hello. Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. You are listening to Rewritten, the show where two friends in the 40s talk about all the stuff you probably think about, but don't always say out loud.
We definitely don't have all the answers, but we do ask honest questions and we give our honest opinions, laugh through the awkward bits, and rewriting life on our own terms. We do laugh through the awkward bits as well, quite a lot.
I'm laughing now. I am so awkward today.
I think it's just seeing each other with in a new setting all the time. I don't know what's going on with us, but anyway,
It's so weird. We've had a little bit of a mic episode today, haven't we? So,
yeah, so not done a whole episode.
not Alex's ex-husband, Mike.
Why did you have to bring him into it? For God's
sake.
I
don't know, because I was looking at you and saying his name. It was just weird.
Really weird. Do you know what I found out on Sunday?
We're both on charge anyway. Sorry, I just want to say, so we can't move. I was hoping
wired in.
This series were meant to be like dead relaxed. We were sitting back on the chair, but if we move, our mic's going to pop out.
We'll just drag him up from under the sofa. Why not? Drag him out the closet. You've already started. I'll tell you something about Mike in a minute. Let's finish this intro. Come on.
Okay, anyway, every week we will bring you our fuck it moment of the week and talk real life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
As you've just seen. So go on, stick the kettle on. Let's get into it.
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you about what happened on Sunday in church. So my son, my oldest son, my youngest son got me into church. I probably should share a little bit of background. So I don't think I did this last week, and if I did, I'm really sorry. But my youngest son, when he was 4, he came home from school and he announced to me that he wanted to be a Christian. And I'll be honest with you, I was not very Christian-like at this point at all. And although I'd had a lot of exposure to church because my dad was quite a Catholic, and I've been to lots of weddings and funerals and christenings, and obviously played the organ from a young age, for those who know me. I had been to church, but not for many, many, many years. I mean, I've been to several for my own weddings. Let's get into it straight.
Well, yeah, that is true, Mike. Being one of
only once in church. But anyway, he announced he wanted to be a Christian. So I did a little bit of a search in the local area for churches. In honesty, and I have told the vicar this, my only thought was, I'll take him because he'll hate it and he'll be bored. Because I remember my life in church as a child, and it was pretty scary. So I went to Church of England school. He used to stand and preach, and he really shouted. He was a bit scary, but have to say, where I go, it's not like that at all. It's wonderful. It's a really lovely community, and he didn't get bored. And we do go every Sunday, and I now play church organ on the back of it. So anyway, my eldest son, who is almost 20 next week, by the time you listen to this, he will be 20. He said, I'll come to church on Sunday, Mum. So I was like, all right. So anyway, the vicar came in and said, oh, you've got 2 children here today, so the youngest and the eldest. And it was really nice. I could see him from where I was playing from the organ loft. I could see his face. Anyway, on Sunday just gone, it was called Peter and Paul. And so there's a bit of talk about the apostles and saints and so on. And for whatever reason in the sermon, St. Michael was talked about. It is called St. Michael's Church. And Michael means something like godly. And I looked round at Daniel and went, with a funny look about his dad, Michael, who Lisa's just talked about. And I could see Daniel smirking, thinking, yeah, that's not dad, is it really?
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, yeah. That's really nice that he goes. You know, when I was a kid, I used to go to a different church every Sunday because...
Why? You're robbing out the different pots.
I think this is why I'm so open-minded. No, you cheeky shit. Did you just say? Well, I did say on the first episode I have delayed processing. So I'm glad I got that out there. But no, where I used to live, I used to have a different friend that used to go, different friends that all went to different churches. So there was one that went to a Christian church, and she actually lived in the Christian house down the road with all other Christians. Yeah. Remember the big table, like where we used to have dinner. Then we had a Mormon family that lived at the end. So sometimes I used to go to their church on a Sunday. And then we had another, like a brother and sister that used to live round the corner, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. And in truth, I only ever used to go there because I used to really fancy the girl's brother. I don't know why, and I don't even know why this has come to my head, but I right fancied him, so I'd go to their church. And once I decided that I'd have all my hair cut and I wanted spiky hair. So my mum let me do it. I don't know why she allowed me to do these things that I used to think about, because it was one of the worst times of my life. I went and had my hair cut. It was long and spiky. And as soon don't you pretty much, yeah. I'm so embarrassed. I don't think I've ever spoken about it because
you definitely haven't, because this is the first time I'm hearing about mullet.
I've got palpitations thinking about it. As soon as it was done, I hated it straight away. Like, I don't even suit a fringe, and I wish I did because I've got such a large forehead. So it was just horrific. And I remember him knocking on the door, and I was rambling round, and I literally answered the door with a tea towel on my head
to try and cover the hair up. Oh, because the tea towel looked better, Lise.
It did. I swear it actually looked better. Now, in this case, I'm just going to say, if my mum is listening, I feel like what she should have done is gone and bought me a cap or something to like get over this trauma, but I didn't have to walk. I think she was trying to teach me lessons of like, you've got to, once you've done it, you've got to deal with it.
It sounds like something your mum might do, like give you a life lesson.
You should see that guy now as well. Honestly, you'd laugh your head off. You'd laugh your head off that I was so traumatized.
Has he got a mullet?
No, he's bald, I think.
Oh, there you go. Better having a mullet than nowhere, I guess.
He's just a really round guy now.
Oh.
Like, he's bald and just round.
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I've never told anyone.
What?
Did you ever get to go out with him?
No. And I am so glad.
Yeah, not like me.
It'd been worse. Yeah, not like, I know, we're thinking of the same person.
Yeah. I had a boyfriend and everyone called him Chunk. Should have really been a giveaway from the day one. Because he definitely
I remember you coming up to me telling me that you got engaged.
I am a serial engager and marrier, aren't I? Please stop talking about my life mistakes. Why?
Red Lion. And you said, what do you think? What do you think? And I was like, Alex, why are you asking me? And Alex, you being you, right? You can't just get away with like, oh yeah, congratulations, that's really nice, which I tried at first. But you being you is like, but what do you really think? And I'm like,
yeah, like, are you sure? Are you sure it's the right thing? Which actually now, knowing myself as an adult, is a sure sign that even I knew it wasn't the right thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I did.
It definitely wasn't the right thing.
I know, and I did tell you at the time.
Yeah, you did. I'd have told you about the mullet as well, but I didn't.
Yeah, you would have done. Had you been around, you would have done. That was devastating. I've had really bad hair episodes, you know.
I know what my mum called one of them, didn't she?
Yeah. She literally put a ball on my head. Like that was. This isn't even the hair episode. I told you last week that we could have a full episode on hair.
Oh yeah, you did. This is not the hair episode. Let's save it. But she didn't actually put a bowl on your head, but it did look like it.
Oh yeah, it definitely looked like it.
Yeah, but they were all fashionable. Everybody looked like mushrooms. I remember going in.
No, they weren't fashionable. They'd have been fashionable if everybody had thought, oh my God, that's so nice and fashionable, but it wasn't.
I remember going into my sister.
What the hell have you done?
Well, she used to have beautiful long hair, my sister, really, really long hair.
Yeah.
And I remember coming in and seeing my mum doing the same haircut on her, right? Shaved up the back in the shape of a mushroom. And I actually bent over double, pissing myself laughing, going, oh my God, you look like a mushroom. Like, that was not very nice, but yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known at the time. But yeah, I think I've had real trauma from hair. Like,
we're going to save this.
Really have. I think.
Tell me how the rest of your week's been. Come on, what have you been up to?
Well, I suppose a lot, really, actually. I've been a right little busy bee. You've done that thing again where you've got something to say about your week, so you've gone to me, haven't you, first?
No, I haven't. I'm just checking in on what you've been up
All
to.
right.
You literally opened the episode with my ex-husband and my fat ex-boyfriend. It's not a great start. Over to you.
I'm so sorry about that. We're no going back now. There's no going back.
Brilliant.
So we both stepped back from Be Sober this week.
Yeah.
Which has been a massive, massive thing for us to do, hasn't it? We've gently stepped back, if you like.
Yeah, as opposed to a big thud.
Yeah. And I think for both of us, it's been the right thing to do. We're ready, aren't we, for new things. And Be Sober is such an amazing community filled with just incredible people. And we said this on our Be Wild, but Alex and I both feel that we have taken it as far as we can possibly take it. So
you muffled, Lise. I don't know what's happened. Sorry, you might be muffled.
Oh, it's gone into my top. Can you hear me?
There we go. Right, yeah, you're fine. Carry on.
Oh, I moved, didn't I? I'm such a fidget. I can't be tied to a mic, Alex. It's not
Oh,
good
no,
for me.
I know. I can't be tied down. You're all right. Carry on.
I'm gonna go like this.
It is the right thing for us to do. And we've had a lovely gift off the community, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they've bought us flowers each and loads, £400 worth of gift vouchers for the Midland Hotel in Manchester for us to go and have a friend day. Yeah.
Well, I feel like, did you take that as one day? I took it as like lots of experiences because they'd said like it was one of the things we'd said is we wanted to spend more time together as friends. So it can be used like in the spa or afternoon tea. So I thought it was like for multiple things. Like one day we can go for a spa and then another one we could go and like have afternoon tea or whatever.
Yeah, well, I just thought we'd have a weekend away.
Like Alex is like, let's get it over and done with. Let's recreate the last time we stayed at the Midland.
Oh, I've got some news to tell you.
It weren't the Midland, were it?
No.
Where was it? I knew. You know, when I was writing it, and I've got like, I can see the Midland.
Explain what you wrote first, because I think that our listeners need to know what's happened.
I wrote a message in the group and I'd explained that the last time Alex and I, well, this is how pissed we were because I thought it was the Midland.
It was the Palace.
Ah, right. Well,
same road. Carry on.
Same road, yeah.
And it is the last time we stayed in a hotel together, to be fair.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's not.
No, but it was the last time we stayed drunk in a hotel together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'd met up in Manchester and stayed in the Palace, not the Midland.
But we'll say it's the Midland now because basically Lisa wrote that down in a Facebook post and everyone on the fitness this morning mentioned it and I kind of agreed. So I've not corrected them either. So
I can't believe you've not done that. Is normally, you know, even when I wrote it, I thought she's going to message and say, actually, Lisa, it was such a hotel.
Well, no,
and then I thought, oh, well, it can happen.
I wasn't even going to mention it because I thought, well, you're quite happy believing it was there. You'll realise.
Our new listeners, did you?
No, I didn't. I was well, I'll tell you another story about the Midland in a minute, but go on. Anyway, so
I ain't got anything to say. You were saying it.
Well, that was it. We'd stayed drunk, hadn't we? And then like the next day we had to go to Remembrance Sunday because Lisa wanted to go and watch it and we were so hungover.
Yeah, we were. And then we had hair of the dog in a Wetherspoons because we were classy chicks.
Well, I with my current husband, who is not called Mike. Right. And it was my wedding anniversary actually on Monday, 9 years. So I'm doing well with this one. They get longer every time.
That's 9 years. Wow.
Yeah. So basically we'd gone to Manchester to watch a Peter Kay show. And I was drunk on that night as well. And I caused a massive argument accusing him of having somebody back in the bed because I found a long hair. That's how pissed I was. It wasn't even our bed. It was a hotel room.
No, you didn't.
Did. Yeah.
Oh, that's
funny. So I just thought, you know what, I'll let her have that because the Midland, I want to rewrite it regardless. I need a positive experience there.
Yeah, we'll do something really lovely. It was really kind and I love the community. And if anybody ever is thinking of ditching the booze, it's such a positive thing to do. And I would highly recommend get yourselves over to Be Sober because there is a full tribe of incredible people. We always wanted it to be a space for like everybody and anybody, like anybody can join Be Sober. There's no judgment. There's just like, it's such a safe space. And I'm so proud of us. And I know that it's just going to continue to grow and thrive and be amazing with Sarah and Nana, who have kind of taken the reins from us. So
they've not kind of taken it. I've literally thrown them at them and gone, bye.
Oh, we've thrown them in the deep end, really, haven't we?
Yeah,
I love this like final admin things to clear up, and Alex is like writing it in the WhatsApp chat, and I'm going, yeah, I've done, I'm out, I've gone.
I know, but you're not allowed to be yet. You can't leave me with all the dreg bits. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Also, this week though, my mum has actually stepped down as a director in my other business.
Big changes, eh?
So, all on the same day. It's crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think things happen like that because life suddenly sort of goes, right, we're doing this now, or oh, right, we're doing this now. And I think that's all right, isn't it? That's what our entire series is about.
Well, yeah, it's funny how things fall into place as well, like once you make that move. The other day I was saying, and I've kind of put it out to the universe, that I really want, like, what I'd really love, and I sound such a wanker saying it, but I really want one, is a personal assistant, right? I want a PA to help me because I am so busy with stuff, and I know, see how you rolled your eyes, that's what people think, right?
Well, I did it on purpose because you said it.
I feel like just because it's not fully office based, that you're not allowed to like want something like that. And I spoke about this.
No, it's nonsense. I rolled my eyes on purpose then because you said I know what people think, but I don't think it is that wanky. I think if you need someone to organise you, honestly, it might make my life easier. Selfishly, you get one. I'm gonna love her.
As in, you organise me? Are you saying?
No, as in you're not at all. Not
which you did.
You will benefit. I truly, and I mean this in a way of knowing you, not in a criticising way. You'll massively benefit from somebody doing all the shit that you hate doing.
I know. I feel like because of how big the family business has got now, there's so much that needs doing. And as I always, I'm kind of like, I've got all these ideas and they appear all of the time. And I just feel like I'm hitting a brick wall all of the time because I haven't got anybody around me to kind of move. All the people in the office are busy doing their jobs, so I'm just going, right, we need to do this, we need to do this, and then it's going ba-doom and just coming back at me because I ain't got people. I can't do everything that's in my brain. Anyway, I put a job role together. I was reading it to Rob actually yesterday, and he was like, that's a big job for somebody. Do you think that at 16 hours is enough? And I was like, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do on my own, as well as all the other stuff. Anyway, how things happen for a reason. I got a phone call, a voice note yesterday off my ex-sister-in-law. And she,
now we're on to your exes. Here we go.
and she literally messaged me and said, you'd be doing me a massive, massive favour, but you don't happen to have any jobs going, do you? I need just 16 hours a week. And I was like,
and is she good? Would she be the right person?
She's honestly, I've got a meeting with a virtual assistant tomorrow, and I thought, it's going to be so hard to try for somebody to know me and how I work and all the different things that need doing. Look, that is basically my life.
At least it's like flinging. If you're listening and not watching, she's flinging her arms round madly in front of herself.
I know. I can't be still. Can
I? Your mic's fine.
Okay. But yeah. So how mad is that she just? Yeah, she's creative and she's organised and she loves being organised. Honestly, as soon as I got the voice note, I was like, wow, perfect. And she used to work for my company anyway, ages ago when she.
Oh, well, that's perfect. So she has an understanding of the business and that.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know this is the job role yet. I've not even spoke to her, so.
It's typical, isn't it? It's typical.
She don't know. Nobody knows. Just you lot listening know first.
Well, she must know now. By the time it goes out, she'll know.
Oh yeah, by the time it goes out, then hopefully she'll be she'll know. So
speaking of weird stuff and like how things happen and align, after our last episode, we were talking about winners and losers, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then I went up to a festival in the village where I live, and I bumped into, again, I'm talking about church, but I bumped into, there's a thing called the they're basically together people. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's lots of volunteers who come together to help run the village, and they do things like put the flowers out in the village and water them and make them look nice, and they organise the community events, and it's really nice. Anyway, I bumped into him in his yellow jacket, and there was a load of kids on the stage there, and they'd been entering a fancy dress, and he said, oh, they're not going to like me later. And I was like, why not? Just having a general chat. And he said, oh, I've told them there's got to be a first, second and third prize. We're not having this everyone's a winner stuff, because kids need to learn to lose. And I was like, no way. And it was honestly, it was 2 days after the episode. It's not even gone out at that point. It's still not out now as we're recording this. I was like, that is so weird. Like, I thought I'd revolutionised the way that we need to think by saying we need winners, but clearly not. Other people think it too.
I feel like it's so crazy and it's true. And in fact, I've always said this, but what you put out there is kind of what you attract to yourself.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer of this. Like, I really am. And I think that, honestly, I believe that's why I got that phone call, that voice note from Abby. I was like, it couldn't have come at a more perfect time. And a really crappy other example is we took Rob's niece out for a walk yesterday. We went to pick her up and took her and the dog out for a walk. Anyway, I said, oh, I've got something for you. I bought it ages ago and it was still at the house. So we brought her to the house and I give her this little gift. And the weirdest thing is that she just found a badge at the canal and it matched her outfit completely. And I was like, oh my gosh, look how much this badge, it was a trans right badge actually. And she was like, I'm going to wear this for school tomorrow. And I was like, you know what, just get your mum to explain what that badge is, and then you can make an informed decision whether you want to still wear that tomorrow at school. So her mum was very happy with that. I mean,
yeah, leave her with the nitty gritty work. But you've done the right thing. I'm moving further and further away from the screen. I've just noticed it's because of this blooming wire. Hold on, I'm back.
Sticking to the wall. Anyway, when we got to the house, I give her the gift, and the bag was pink and white striped, right? And it was literally, her coat was purple, and on the inside it was pink and white stripes. And I was like, that's so weird. Look how much it matches your coat. So we had a bit of a laugh about it. She opened the bag, and I'd bought it that long ago. I'd completely forgot what we'd even got anyway, but it was all wrapped up in the purple tissue paper.
No way.
And it literally matched a coat. It was weird. Anyway, it was a little bear hug thing. And when we was walking up the street, she then found these flowers in somebody's garden. And she was like, oh my gosh, look at these match as well. And then we found some lavender, and I picked some lavender. And I just thought that's a really good example about what you put out there. Do you know what I mean? Because she was looking for them things without realizing she was looking for them things. So if it was something bad,
it's the thing about manifestation, isn't it? Because it took me a long time to get it years ago. But it is that. It's not that you suddenly just write down all your wishes and then sit back and they come true. It is about everything you do brings you to the point of what it is you want and you're manifesting. It's not magic.
Yeah, like I remember the first book really that got people into manifesting was The Secret,
which has been the first book you got me to read.
Hugely beneficial in my life, and I use loads of practices from it now. I look back and I'm like, it's a funny book, isn't it? But like, I remember getting the check. Then you could download this check and write it out to yourself and put it up. And I remember putting this check on my pin board in the kitchen, and I think I'd put it for like £10,000 or something, and I at the time, and you know what, I had it on there for ages and ages, and in a way I was thinking, I might just wake up and there'll be a check for £10,000 through the door. But actually during that time, when I looked at it, how my job had changed, how all these other things that had come to me in so many different ways. Do you know what I mean?
So you didn't just get a check for 10 grand gifted by some stranger through the post, but you did manage to make that sort of money.
And it's looking at it thinking, right, I want that to come true. So what can I do to make that come true? And it's not necessarily always like about things, is it? And like money or stuff. It can be about anything, the people that you hang around with.
Yeah, this is what it's just what you've said, isn't it? What you put out, you get back.
Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're staring at me that I need to do
I'm
something.
sat so still,
You
right?
want me to
I've got a wire hanging out from my armpit that I'm trying to cover up, not let my shirt fall back over. I've got a reflection in my glasses from my light, which I'm trying to cover up.
It looks cool with your hair like that. I like it.
It's covering half my head. I'm trying so much to sort of figure out how I look. I've literally gone, oh gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I should have put my contact lenses in. That's what I'm now starting to think.
Do you wear them every day?
No, I hardly ever wear them. I hate them.
Oh, I wear my contacts every day, but I'm at a point where I still need glasses now to read anyway. And now I feel really, because you were staring at me, it's made me, I feel like I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at the time because we have got a guest on today, haven't we?
We hope so.
We hope so. I'm wondering if that's why you were looking at me like, where are they? But we have got an exciting guest on, and we've been a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I don't know why. We've had lots of different guests on our other podcasts over the years, and we've never really been nervous. But I feel like that's because we didn't, not that we didn't take it seriously, because we did, but we didn't realise what we were doing.
No, yeah, we was so naive, I think, about it.
Do you not remember? I just used to text everybody and say, yeah, can you come on the podcast? Like authors.
We were so unprepared as well. Like, I feel like it was all a blur. I look back now at some of the conversation and was like, we didn't plan, not like we wanted it to be real and authentic, but like we really didn't plan. Like we'd get guests on who'd wrote books and I would have no clue. Sometimes I would turn up to a podcast and I'd be like, I have no clue what this person does, which is really rude.
Well, I think sometimes it's just the way it happens. It's like, you've got guests before, so I've had to do a little bit of extra reading, or I've got guests before, so you've had to do a little bit of extra reading. But I feel like sometimes when we've been chaotic, because we've only ever fit in the Be Sober podcast when we could, we never really had a schedule as such. There were times where we've both gone in really unprepared, and that was okay because that was the kind of setup that it was on that podcast.
Yeah.
But I think we've put ourselves under quite a bit of pressure with this one, that we've now got a structure and a format. And it's a good thing because we definitely need it.
You know what I love is that anybody listening will be like, what structure?
This is organised.
There's a structure to this.
Yeah, I know.
So we're buzzing to have today's guest. She's a 3-time Sunday Times bestselling author, the brains behind Will Powders, and one of the realest, in my opinion, voices on Instagram. I love your Instagram.
She's a mum, a biohacker, a sneaky rank queen. I hope you're not offended by that. And a total powerhouse when it comes to recovery and well-being. It's the amazing Davinia Taylor. Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on. That was a smooth, just to put everyone who's listening into context, we're just having like white chaos before we press record, weren't we? Just like shit everywhere in it. Everywhere's chaos. Our office is chaos. Your house is chaos. Waterman's chaos. You know, it's just life, innit?
There'll be a delivery soon. It'll be at Lisa's house. She always gets a delivery, right? Always.
No.
The Amazon person arrives.
Not today, because for the first time ever in years, I can't believe I've never done this before, I've put a note on my door to the postman to leave it in the storage box on the decking.
Everything you said you hadn't actually ordered anything.
No, I'm on a shopping ban, Davinia.
There's a workaround, always. Yeah, that makes sense. So I did a podcast once and I was in Wimbledon, like a really sort of posh doctor. And she had right in the middle, like she's got this like amazing multi-million-pound house that looks over, I mean, just gorgeous, super stylish. Naomi Potter actually is. And so it's in a really swanky area of Wimbledon. And then the doorbell goes, and then there's this woman on a proper bicycle with a basket dropping off freshly baked sourdough. And I went, oh my God, you can't get more flipping leafy suburb London than that, can you? And you're just like, yeah, we don't get that.
No, we don't. You know what's really weird? I tried to make my own bread last night.
Go on.
My mum picked up a bread maker and dropped it off and was like, make us some bread. So I made some bread. So I think I must be trying to get a little bit more suburban.
I think if we did have to make bread, we wouldn't eat as much of it. Do you know what I mean?
I said.
It's so available, isn't it? And it's
I
like
said to my partner,
and it's full of shit.
Yeah,
you are.
It's full of shit as well. It's
bleach. That's what I mean. I thought I'd make it. And then I said to Rob last night, I was like, you know what? If we do this, and I felt so housewife it, but I was like, if we do this, then we'll enjoy it at the weekend and bread will be a treat. And then we won't be just buying bread and we'll know exactly what's in it. So yeah, that's exactly what I said last night because there's so much shit in everything, isn't there?
It'll probably be, because what day is it today? Wednesday. It'll probably be off by the weekend because it won't have any of the preservatives in.
Well, so to be honest, I'm going to make it at weekends, but I've got the bread maker. I went into an emergency. Let's go to the shop, see if they've got any yeast and throw something together last night. So it actually cooked at 3:00 this morning. But
my daughter is like, she's nearly 18, my middle one. She does everything from scratch, everything. Like she makes her own sourdough. She makes I'm terrible. I take credit for this as well, which is usually my way. But my little boy who's 9, we've gone on a bit of a thing at home where we really do not want him eating all the crap because although we're pretty good, you know, we have our eggs and we have our full fat stuff. A lot of the time it's so rushed in the house. We send little Abel off to school and he's got, you know, your Warburton's loaf and so on. And we were like, we can't be living like this and then saying you can't eat this, you can't eat that. So she makes bread rolls and does his lunches on them and everything. She does everything for us.
That's really good, isn't it? I mean, I'm always in a rush in the morning. So I like you said in the intro, I've got a company called Will Powders. And part of the reason I did the protein powder, which is bone broth based, and we started off with my 2 sweetest flavors, so vanilla and milk chocolate, was basically so I could get what is essentially oxtail soup, but tastes like a Mr. Whippy down the kids in the morning. Get out the door, for the love of God, you're driving me mad. Run, run, run. Save yourself. The world's on fire because we're late for assembly again. So it's kind of like, it's that fast food. And, you know, so we don't really have bread in the morning at all. I mean, I was raised on Weetabix and white toast, you know, and actually croissants then because that was posh. My mum used to get
were posh.
Yes, we were. She used to go to Marks and Spencer's in Wigan and get them, and I loved them. That was because they used to be quite a delicacy then. And then you'd be told, oh yeah, that's really good for you, you know, because you'd have whole grain ones as well. I mean, it's all the same, and it's just bread made out to be fancy. But so the boys have that, and they have like bacon and eggs in the morning. But I do the very, very thin bacon, so it takes 2 seconds to cook. And my eggs are always a disaster, but it's just protein in it. It's a superfood, so just get that down them and they're out the door. So that was the brainchild behind the protein was, what can I get that is not going to bloat them, not going to make them tired, that is really nutritious, and it's instant. And it was the protein powder, you know, because
strawberry one, haven't you, as well?
It's a nightmare. They make you feel tired and bloated because it's soy or it's whey, and it's going to, you know, kick off your immune system. Or, you know, well, soy is awful. It makes me bloat like crazy. But bone broth, I think like 99.9% of people are fine with beef because obviously we evolved eating it, so you know, everyone can digest it. So that's why I did that, and we're expanding that range because it's so popular, particularly with mums. And now the lads, so I've got an 18-year-old lad. Now him and his mates go to the gym and they're all about bulking up and everything and looking stronger and muscle mass. And I said, you can't beat beef for that. So you don't.
Is this where your advert came from, the idea of the
protein. Yeah,
I love that.
So we did the campaign because we're trying to get across that not all protein powders are created equal, and not all proteins are equal, even though most nutritionists would have you believe otherwise. They just don't react the same in the body. If you get on with eating soy, which obviously has grown massive amounts in China and shipped over, and God knows the thing is with like soy and like agriculture, it doesn't really go through the rigorous checks that meat does, obviously, because it's plant and they're not bothered. So I'm kind of like, looking at things like, where was it manufactured? How was it manufactured? Where was it grown? What's the soil quality? So when you compare beef with soy, you're just like, yeah, that's not quite right. I mean, it's just common sense, isn't it? But most dietitians would say it's all the same. And in fact, protein from plants is better for you. But I'm just like, I'm not buying it. Doesn't make sense.
I love this. And I love, you are really good at kind of sharing the science behind everything that you do in a really no bullshit way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's the way people can understand, isn't it? Because I think
that is because, sorry to interrupt you. I think that is because the message really is actually just common sense. It's like, what have we evolved on? What do we not react to? What makes us feel satisfied? And what can help me get on with my day without going to flipping Costa Coffee to get yet another brownie? What's going to take me out of my busy working day? What's going to give me energy that's not going to like, I mean, the messaging about having energy from like a meal deal is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And energy drinks as well, this even that energy drinks, it's just like pumping you with
anxiety drink, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't take, it doesn't take much research really to just think about, right, what did my great grandmother survive on? And if that ingredient is there, kind of makes sense. And when
you look back, when I think about the message growing up, because I think we're probably all a similar age, and like the message growing up was, you need your low-fat spreads, you need your low-fat yogurts, your fat-free yogurts, everything was zero, this eat your Muller Lights and all that. And you look at it now a bit more informed as an adult and you think, oh my God, we were actually sold a complete lie about this crap. A complete lie. Like all the stuff with Edwina Curry and the salmonella outbreak. Yeah. Salmonella. And then all the stuff where they culled all the beef because we were all going to get this prion, BSE.
Mad cow disease.
Yeah.
It actually made me more of a mad cow, not having any fat and not having any meat. I was insane when I was like...
Did you know that back then with the mad cow? I remember finding out about that, and I'm sure I was on holiday with my friends and hearing mad cow disease, and I'm like, what even is that? But back then I wouldn't have even had a clue really how important fat or...
No, because we've been programmed. You've been programmed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go into like a dentist or a doctor's, you've got the eat well plate, it's mainly grains.
Awful. It's back to front, isn't it?
Whole grains, polyunsaturated fats, so from margarine, so out of a factory. I mean, and there's literally there's fruit and veg on there. But again, it's like, compare the nutrients that you get from broccoli to beef liver. There is no comparison. But it's never mentioned. It's like you can't say it. And and everyone's, I just got blasted on social media for saying that, red meat is actually good for us. And they're still looking at studies that consider red meat a sausage roll and pepperoni pizza. That's considered red meat. Steak on its own. T-bone steak.
The problem.
The data sets are very old, aren't they?
Yeah, and the studies that have been done on these diets are all done on fast food burgers, like you've just said, done on like cheap, nasty sausages. They're not done on proper meat.
Also, all of these so-called red meats have got pastry around them anyway. So
I can't believe they can call it that.
God, that is the food that can never, ever, ever be demonized. White folding bread. It is the God's food. And you're just like, yeah, it tastes. And you know what? It's really addictive. You try having half a slice of toast and getting on with your day without having some more later or some that ilk. It's a right gateway drug. Well, for me,
people blame the butter, I think, for that.
I know.
They do, don't they? Because you have toast and then you put the butter on it and it's like, oh, it's the butter. It's not the bread.
It's like that thing, Lisa, with where they tried to sort of say things like they blame. Diabetes type 2 used to be called sugar diabetes.
Yeah.
So we knew originally it was caused by sugar. And now they go, oh, eat low fat. What? Fat's
I don't understand it. Why is it not? Well, this is why I have a problem with the people in the institutions coming at me. I'm like, but you've been educated. You've paid a fortune for your doctorate. You've paid a fortune for your qualification. And it's based on stuff that just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Me as someone who can overeat, me as someone who's like battled against the weight forever, me as someone who's, you know, now I can monitor, you know, your blood sugar. You can see what spikes it and where the mood dips and how you crave more, you know, and it just seems to be, I mean, it's a religion to them. It's like, you have to have low fat, you have to have plant-based, you have to have loads of grains. And if you say anything else, I get called a grifter, and I'm like, but what about what my nan had?
Yeah,
that's what she had. She had meat and veg, and actually my granddad used to make their own bread. So I'm not anti-carb. I'm anti-addictive carb. I'm anti-bliss point foods. I'm after satisfaction, so I mean, at Will Powders, we sell like the opposite of what, say, Kraft do, or Mars Company, or anything from Unilever. They sell foods that kick off the craving for more. Yeah. We do the opposite. So you have something of ours, and then you just get on with your day. And then you'll probably later on, before you know it, you go, do you know what? I've not had a snack. I've not been to Starbucks and got my usual £45 million coffee and some bloody butty that look quite nice.
Do you know, Davinia, I take your collagen in the morning, and I have, for my breakfast, I have that in a coffee with cream. That is it. I actually get pretty full off that without any additional protein till about 11 a.m. And then I can have my eggs or something really high protein. But your collagen keeps me feeling pretty satiated.
Well, it presses pause, doesn't it, on that instinct to, pick your blood sugar back up again. And I don't know why people have a problem with that. I mean, you don't have to use my stuff. It's just fat anywhere. You know, you don't have to use MCT. You don't have to use my collagen. I mean, you just have an egg and some butter, like a chucky egg. I mean, freaking hell. That's why I think people gravitate to me, because I'm like, you know, what did you have when you went to see your nan, when you were like back in the 70s and early 80s? What did your nan? Because I used to go to Liverpool to see my nan every Saturday. Do you want a chucky egg, girl? Do you want a chucky egg? Because that's all she could cook, to be honest. And so that's what I used to have. And so it's been around for, you know, forever, egg chopped up in a cup. And that is fast food. That's dead quick. And, you know, fabulous. If you don't want to buy into my products, buy into what your great grandmother did before we had turbo cancer, before we had diabetes hitting children, type 2 diabetes hitting children, before we had Alzheimer's attacking virtually every woman who's in a care home. You know, I mean, it's not that deep, really. The evidence is there, but it just gets twisted by the people who are in control of the messaging. And
I want to ask you, Davinia,
before these people, what did we do before the World Health? What did we do for the past millennia? Oh my God, what did we do before we got a doctor's appointment? And it's like, we just fucking used our intuition. If you're full, you're full. But if you're having proper food, you fill up and you stop and you just cack on with your stupid day that deals with 25,000 emails from school and friggin', I don't know, the council coming around because I parked somewhere dodgy or whatever, you know. And then you put on top of that, you're starving for sugar. You just got to, you know, it's just like another stress on the body, isn't it? So
massive.
I love this. I feel like we are so brainwashed. You know, again, I rang my, I've been absolutely knackered this week. And I'd actually said to Rob, I'm so tired. And he was like, you've not had enough sugar because I've been, and I'm like, what? I said, how do you live with me and come out with a sentence like that? Like,
right? I said, do you not listen to anything I say? I mean, I'm like that.
It drives me mad. But what I want to ask you is, what kind of woke you up to this way? Like, what was it, that moment where you thought, hang on a minute, this is absolute bullshit, why aren't we doing this?
So it was Matthew, actually, because he's a big coffee drinker, but I never had coffee because it gives you anxiety and cellulite. I've been told that forever, you know what I mean? So I didn't drink coffee till I was like about 36. And he was like, I was really flatline, 4 stone heavier than I am now. But not only that, I was totally inflamed, like big swollen knees, couldn't put my rings on my fingers, like neck met my chest, you know what I mean? It was just very water everywhere. And obviously that's just not around your joints and your body. It was in my brain as well. You know, I was inflamed. So I was flatline, no confidence to do anything. Well, couldn't be asked really. It wasn't about confidence. I just couldn't be asked doing anything. Just get up, start with like Good Morning Britain, Lorraine Kelly, This Morning, Loose Women, and then the game shows. Kind of that was it. And that's, you know, and then obviously I got to go to Tesco's before the kid getting the kids from nursery, that sort of thing. So there was no gym. There was just like doing bits of housework, huffing and puffing, lots of like sitting down on the sofa, making sandwiches, snacks, granolas, a lot of granola. But it's good for you, isn't it? Granola, because it's, I don't know, it is, because everyone says it is, and it'll give you energy, but it puts me to sleep. So he said to me, why didn't you have a coffee? Like, no, coffee's dead bad for you. I can't have that anyway. The doctor said as well, oh, you're just depressed. You need antidepressants and you're tired because you've had too many kids. So I'm like, oh God, right, okay. And you're getting old, like at 36, you're getting old. And
your doctor said that to you?
Yeah. You're getting old. You know, you've had lots of children. This is to be expected, and you're probably depressed. So let's put you on some antidepressants. So just come off them. No, no. Yeah. I'm not depressed. I'm just like, I'm knackered. Well, what do you expect? You've got children. I mean, come on. And like too knackered. And they said, well, just the usual, eat less, move more, calorie count, low fat, you know, all this. I mean, the only fat you can have is from cod liver oil. And I think even before then, it was definitely rapeseed oil. You got to have loads of that, or even that, keep it at a minimum. I mean, just like literally no fat, no cheese, no dairy, nothing. Just everything was anti-fat. And then Matt online, not met him, but saw this guy online called Dave Asprey, who he's not. I mean, he's not for me. But anyway, his message was interesting to Matthew, who's actually he studied like sports science at university anyway, so he's been into all that. I'm like opposite, you know, not bothered. And he showed me how to do this bulletproof coffee thing. So what Dave Asprey had done, and I don't know whether to believe him, that he went to Nepal and he met some monks and they got some yak's milk and it had MCT oil in it. And then he put it in his coffee and he got this amazing energy and all this. Anyway, whatever. I thought, well, Matt had gone, I don't know where he'd gone to get this MCT oil because it wasn't really available in the UK. Maybe it was in some random shop in London because we were in London at the time, and he whizzed it up so it emulsified and put butter in it as well. And he said, just try that. And now I hate coffee, I hate fat, I hate anything hot, so I'm just like no. Anyway, well, what did I have to lose? It was either that or just more of the same. And I was actually worried that I was going to get anxious because of caffeine causing anxiety. So I was of the school of anything caffeine is like having a Red Bull and you just get the EBGBs straight away for like hours. Anyway, turns out, I didn't get the EBGBs because the fat with the MCT oil helps you metabolize the caffeine, thus reducing that impact on the cortisol system. But I felt satiated. And also because I have been so... Well, since I was like 2, maybe younger. No, since I was weaned, I've always had carbohydrates every single day in my life, loads of carbs. So like I was bottle fed as well. So carbs every single day, forever. And obviously my brain had just stopped responding to glucose and it was flatline. And it was, I mean, is this how dementia starts? I do not know. But I was flat and I could not be arsed. I couldn't engage with the kids, couldn't go for a walk. Anyway, I took this MCT oil and I'm not saying I woke up or anything like that, but there was a chink. And the only thing I could say is it was a little bit of, oh, that feels different. Bearing in mind I've been sober from alcohol, which was my other energy source, acetate, you know. So this ketone, which is as soon as you have this MCT oil and it gets into the lymphatic system, it hits the liver, it's converted into a ketone, which then gets into the blood system and goes wallop straight up to the brain. And it doesn't make you wired. It doesn't make you hyper. It just kind of like turn the lights on very subtly. And I felt a shift in my mental state, which I hadn't done before I'd put down that last glass of wine, if you know what I mean. And it's not an alcoholic feeling or anything like that. it was just something a little bit different, and it made me go, okay. And it gave me the energy to actually read Dave Asprey's story. And all of a sudden I started ordering his books, and then I started then one influencer goes to the other. Then all of a sudden you get opened up to this very bro heavy world of biohacking. And then I start sitting in the bath every night with magnesium, just to try and get my sleep, listening to Ben Greenfield hour after hour, and just listening to all these new ideas that weren't this dogma. And it was just made so much sense to me that we've messed around with our food system. I mean, obviously trying to stop people from starving and putting capitalism in place, but the byproduct of that is really cheap products manufactured that are not serving our brains at all. And actually, being an alcoholic, I can spot addiction in myself being triggered. I can see it in everyone else, particularly when they're defending overnight oats. I'm like, great, it's overnight oats, not crack. Why are you kicking off on me saying that maybe you should have eggs instead? I mean, overnight oats, they're defended more than anything. Wow, you guys really like your fucking oats, don't you? Anyway, whatever, as you were. But it's mental. The diabetic lot, like type 2 diabetic, the dietitians, obsessed with overnight oats with oat milk. I mean, it's on another
mental,
level,
isn't it? Like, it's literally feeding it.
So it wasn't even. What's your problem? I mean, that's sugar for you.
Do you know what? I've had to come off oat milk because I went through a phase of having oat milk rather than, and I still don't like.
We all did oat milk. We all did oat milk.
I didn't.
Honestly, I've had to wean.
Up the revolution.
I had to wean myself off it, and I went on a retreat just over a month ago now. But I thought that's my time. I'm gonna unprocess myself because it was all unprocessed food, whole foods, and there was no oat milk. And I was like, I'm gonna come off it.
I mean, that's crazy that you had to psych yourself up.
Yeah, I did.
Come off this product that is touted everywhere. I mean, I'm a bit better off with oat milk than I am with soy. But you say that to anyone in the institutions, and they'll hang me out to dry for me suggesting I get milk from my local dairy. And by the way, I speak to the farmer and I see the cows.
Yeah,
time just over on Pendle.
They're like, oh, you're going to die of TB. Oh, you're going to die of tuberculosis because you know the cows. You're like, are you serious?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? So I really trust my farmer rather than the multinational that's pushing Oatly. I'll be honest with you, Steve.
Yeah,
I'll be before I look holier than now. I do want to address another thing diet-wise. Is I did do the whole fry light thing. I'm ashamed to say the fry light spray.
I mean, brilliant messaging, of course, because we've been programmed that way, and it is. And it's convenient, and it's a spritz, and it's one kind of.
How many calories are in it?
I know, and we're all like that. But
listen, I was a Slimming World consultant for a few years. I know. Yeah. And honestly, I was so into it, and behind the fresh foods and the meat and all the things that you can have. And the carbs, stuff I remember literally in a new members talk going, and you can just spray it as much as you want.
And the whole thing, Lise.
Looking back, there's so many things. I'm like, what the hell? I used to help people try. I'd be like, no, sins, it's for synergy. It doesn't mean it's a sin, so you can still have things. And honestly, that's what we got told it was. But things like the Muller Lights, I'd be like, yeah, eat as much as you want. And helping people, this is my worst one, and I'm so ashamed of it, but I didn't know what I knew then, was helping people fit their alcohol or their gins into the sins provided over so kind of saying, well, why don't you swap your wine for a gin or do this? And when I got sober, I was like, what the hell? How could I start? But I didn't know. But I do remember on my training at Slimming World, a woman there who didn't drink, and she was one of the trainers, and she was like, you'll have to just tell people if they want to lose weight, blah, 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 cut the drink out. And I was like,
how? That's the best bit of everyone's day.
I am not going to tell people to do that. And no, I actually wish I'd stood there every week going, just ditch it, just ditch it.
Well, I know. I mean, we don't know what we don't know at that time, right?
No.
And we've just got to be like, we're moving on, and science moves on, and that's the trouble with how when I come up against like these people who've got the qualifications and everything to prescribe and all that. I'm like, you know, you've just been taught a certain syllabus.
Yeah.
And you're going to protect it with your life because, you know, but I'm going to protect this for my life because it saved my life. But because of certain restrictions, you know, we get vilified because I don't want to prescribe antibiotics. I don't want to prescribe antidepressants. I don't want to be part of that clan. I want to be like someone who's like, let's go for a run. Let's definitely cut out alcohol. Let's maybe eat a bit more like our grandmothers used to do. If you don't have the time to do bone broth, I've got some here, but there's a million bone broth companies on the internet anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy mine. But it's like I'm just trying to open up people's eyes to a lifestyle because I've been medicated since you get shoved on the pill at 14 for acne. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so true. Or regulate your periods.
Oh, regulate your periods, or you know, just to be part of the gang anyway.
You know, Davinia, what you've just said then about qualifications and prescribing things and being part of the syllabus. I've talked about this before 5 years ago, up till 5 years ago, from being 20 odd years. I was a biology teacher in a college and in a school, right? And never, ever, ever once did I question that cholesterol causes heart disease, or that there are 9 planets in the solar system. And when you think about that message now, right, so I would stand there day in, day out with my year 9 class going, my very elegant mother just served up new potatoes. That's how you remember the order of the planets. And now I'm like,
I love that she had to throw that in. Do you know?
My very elegant mother. What is it? Just
my very elegant mother just served up new potatoes.
I mean, brilliant. Why no one told me that? I do not know. I could have won every.
What can I say? But the thing is,
there are more planets then. I'm assuming
there are more now, and Pluto's gone. Pluto's gone now, right? So
we got rid of that.
It's what made me realise, Pluto's not a planet.
Just a minute. I'm just getting a mic drop because I don't know much about the solar system. But is Pluto not a planet? It's something else. Is that right?
It's something else, yeah. It's something small.
It's just like an also ran. It's just like this. Like,
I don't even know what it is. That's how much
station, a service station. It's the services. Random services.
Mouse's mate or something. But anyway, I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue what it was. Nor did I care. I still don't know now. My point, I guess, is I'd stand there teaching this rhyme. I've never seen the planets. I've never seen an atom inside an atom. I've never seen cholesterol causing heart disease, but that's what I was taught was the right thing. So what you've got is generation after generation of people regurgitating stuff they've never even thought about. They've never even considered.
Well, I mean, your job isn't really then to teach per se, then it's to bloody hell get them through them GCSEs and get them into their A-levels and get them into BTEC and then just boom. That's
absolutely. But do you know what makes you a good teacher? And this is why I've come out of it, because you're not allowed to do it.
I love hearing her say this, by the way, because growing up, we used to have so many debates about me saying what bullshit school was, right? And I was being a teacher. So this, for me, is so nice to hear.
But do you know what? Truth, what makes you a good teacher, a really good teacher, and if you were allowed to do it in this country, we'd revolutionise our educational system. Get people to have a little bit of critical thinking. Get people to ask questions. Stop
that's
teaching.
What university is meant to be about, but
it's not. I mean, it's bollocks. It's more bollocks, more brainwashing.
Yeah, I mean, I was never one for uni. I walked out my A-levels to become an actor. So there you go.
Well, you did all right.
Could you imagine?
I don't know. It was up and down. I'll be honest with you. It was a little bit touch and go at some points with the.
Davinia, can you imagine, like back then, would actress Davinia imagine what you'd be doing now so many years on?
To be honest, I've always kind of surprised myself because I'm kind of impulsive, so I really don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. So like, there you go. I'm just like whatever plan I make, that's just for laughing at.
I love it. And I feel like everything, I know you've self-diagnosed. Is it you and your boys with ADHD?
No, well, no, it was my son's been diagnosed with it, and it was me going through the list. And so in the end, I'm like, hang on, that's me. And so you go see a doctor, and they're like, yeah, that's you as well. And then obviously I tried the medication, and it made me feel very despondent and almost a bit of a creepy, homesick feeling when I tried it. So then I just thought, I can understand why it would make somebody sit down in class, because I flatlined. I flatlined on the medication. So some people it really works, but for me it didn't. And so I tried it on my son, and he didn't like it. And I'm like, I understand that feeling. Because he's so young and he doesn't have the vocabulary, he couldn't actually say despondent, disassociated, literal lack of, not optimism, but possibility. There was none of that, because I'm a very outward thinker. So if someone's having a conversation with me, I'm often already doing something else psychologically. But I like that. I've got constant noise in my head, otherwise I don't really do boredom very, very well. So I'll go off onto a dream world and start strategizing. So I don't even know why I got onto this, but anyway, that's
it's probably a lot to do with your success though. So I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and I actually have tried the medication, and I feel like I do get quite a lot from it. I don't think I would have done years ago, but I do now, and I don't feel like it's actually changed me that much. What I do feel like is that it's given me the energy which I could probably get from.
So that was a flip for me. I had less energy because I tried it in the office, and I had to take myself. I mean, I didn't try it for very long, I'll be honest with you. But I just thought I have to take myself home. I'm no use here.
Oh no, I'm like, okay.
So yes, you see what I mean? You can't do that. And this is what I mean about like the one size fits all approach that's taught in med school and everything. So it's like, come on, we're beyond that. I did an interview actually the other day, and I'm like, this is where AI could come in, because it has the capacity to go through our individual system, or even women. Even women could get looked at, and maybe with a bit more nuance than what we are now.
It would be so good, wouldn't it?
Like that massive sort of brain that can go through every single system in our bodies. And we've got the capability of tracking it. We can have continuous glucose monitors. Hopefully they'll bring out a continuous hormone monitor soon. Tech is evolving super, super fast, and AI could finally unlock the keys to each individual woman, because we are not all the same. And I mean, no human is the same, men as well. But ultimately, women have been neglected because of that.
And all the research
we weren't allowed to, we weren't even ADHD till like 5 years ago anyway. So that's why every man and his dog is ADHD. But actually, it's mainly people who have this personality type that often end up in the creatives on TV that wallop. That's why it seems like everyone's got it, but it's often the outgoing people generally have that risk taking and will put themselves front and center that have got this ADHD. That's why it feels like everyone's got it. But it's just people that you see in the public eye and have always known. You're, oh, that's why they're there. That's why they're on TV making a dick of themselves. It's because they've got that. They're just like risk takers, And
have you heard of Dr. Stacey Sims?
Pardon?
You know who Dr. Stacey Sims is?
Yes.
Yes. Have you had any conversations with her?
With her.
She's vegan, isn't she?
I don't know what I like about her is, I mean, I don't know how she eats, if I'm honest, but I
think she is. I think she is. I might be getting muddled up with another one. Anyway,
she does a lot of all her research though. She did women's physiology, and I think the backstory is something like her dad was in the 40s. She was told she couldn't be in the special forces because she was a girl. She looked into all the research. All the research is done on men for women. So she does a lot of work with women. I just feel like there's kind of a bit of an overlap with what you're saying. If there was a bit more, like if all the research on women's hormones were actually carried out on women, maybe we wouldn't have these people crashing in the mid-40s, bottoming out. I mean,
it's kind of like the messaging with HRT. It's like everyone gets HRT, and it's like, all right, you shove your HRT on and shut the fuck up and get on with it.
Yeah.
And actually, do your work and have the kids and do all the school emails and do the uniforms after you work, and you got your HRT now. So what more do you want? Yeah. And it's really triggering for me. I'm like, It's not good enough because I mean,
behind.
actually, I was talking, and I've said it a few times on podcasts, that if you struggle in the UK to get testosterone, which often is the gateway to feeling better, testosterone is still deemed a male hormone, when actually we make more testosterone than estrogen. But it's still deemed male hormone. So often doctors will say that to you, and if you struggle getting it, what you have to say to your doctor is, I have low libido, my man is not being satisfied, please give me some testosterone. And then they'll go, yes, you can.
Wow.
I know, it's so bad, isn't it? And actually, I mean, I lift a lot of weights. Yeah. And I lift a lot of weights, like that's my job. And when I went to the GP, I have to say my GP was really good with it.
Right.
And I did go through a period of trying testosterone. The only testosterone you can get on the NHS is the male version, and we have a slightly different chemical formula. You have to go private, so once you even get approved for testosterone, you either take the man's and you use a male sachet that you divide up into little blobs, or you go private and pay for the female version, which is just disgusting, actually.
Well, I mean, the UK is pretty behind, particularly with America. I mean, we take the piss out of the Americans, but bloody hell, they're making moves. They are shifting the chat, and we only copy and paste, like the Diabetes Association, the Heart Association. We copy and paste from the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Association.
Yeah.
Something, groundbreaking here with our blessed NHS and Oxford and Cambridge, and we just copy what the Americans do. So, hopefully that's changing, and they're getting the conflict of interests out, and then hopefully we'll see. But I was just reading today that Pharma have got like this huge big sort of conglomerate or club or whatever it is, and they're trying to get Kennedy out, and as soon as possible, and then we're back to square one. But I mean, for me, I know what works better for me. I'm terrified of getting Alzheimer's, terrified of getting cancer. I'm not scared of heart disease. I personally am not. I've looked at cholesterol aside. I don't think that on its own is a risk factor. So, the rhetoric's changing, isn't it? So it was total cholesterol, even though your doctors will say you've got high cholesterol, total cholesterol. But that was debunked back in the 90s. I think even Ansel
Keys. We're getting the message.
But I know, but now they're saying, oh yeah, so sorry, you've got good and bad cholesterol. That's like, right, okay. And then it's going, actually, that LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, it's the oxidized LDL. So it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller till eventually they're going to go, actually, it is the damage to your arteries caused by sugar that's causing the problem. And by the way, here's an elevated version of metformin.
Do you know it's a random number, that number they give you for ideal cholesterol? And actually, they've done postmortems on brains of patients who've had Alzheimer's, and what they've found consistently is their brain doesn't have any cholesterol in it, or very little. Does that not tell us something? High cholesterol brains are healthy brains.
I know, but imagine we'll get shut down for this.
Well, I'm going to cut this bit so I can play it just to Rob. So I'm just going to say, Rob, that bit there is just for you.
Because we are out though, either. We will get shut down, but never mind. We won't.
We have kicked off.
You're not even allowed to ask the question. You're not even allowed.
We're not big enough platform just yet that anyone. By the time this gets bigger, it'll be too late. Too late to shut us down.
Oh no, we're going to wake up with horses' heads next to us and
all this. No, I need to ask you one more thing, because I am dead concerned for time for you. But if you could actually call bullshit on one common wellness belief, what would it be?
Well, for me, it's that fat makes you fat.
Right.
It's just spelt the same.
Yeah.
I'm talking natural fat here. We're talking, like chicken skin and butter and avocados and egg yolks, all them nice fatty things. And it's that fat makes you fat. It doesn't, it pulls you away from the stuff that makes you fat, which for me is glucose. It's like high carbohydrates turns into glucose, and it flatlines me. It knocks me out. I'm super sensitive to how I feel because I'm always checking in with myself because I'm an alcoholic. You got to go, hang on, how's my recovery doing? Oh, bloody hell. Because I notice when I'm overeating. It's his first sign, isn't it? You go, oh God, pissing me off. Or, you know,
and it's evident in everybody who's drunk. We've all been through it. You know, the first thing you do is you give up alcohol, and then you're addicted to sugar. Then you start looking at the sugar. Then you realise all the other things that
you want to have a look at Chris Palmer's work. Chris Palmer is he's a biologist, and he is doing work. I think it's in Stanford. I think so. Anyway, he's doing work on the ketogenic diet in rehabs. And people who go on exogenous ketones like the MCT, or in America, you can buy shots of them. I buy them in from America through this app called Desert Cart. Cost me a bloody fortune because, of course, the UK still consider it novel food. We're very late to the party, as usual, like with melatonin, very late. But yeah, have a Xanax, you addict. What? You could give me Xanax? So yeah, these exogenous ketones are looking, when you have someone coming off alcohol, that they are reducing the amounts of diazepam you need, because that's what they put you on anyway, because of the EBGBs and the absolute panic, and reducing number of relapses. So the ketogenic diet, like I mentioned earlier, gives the brain energy in ketones, which as an alcoholic, you've been leaning into acetate, the energy molecule in alcohol, to wake you up, to be able to get a shower, to be able to pay a bill, to be able, this is when alcohol suddenly becomes a problem, because you're using it as a fuel source to pull you out of a depression, to wake you up, to give you confidence, to give you dopamine. You switch that to ketones, and all of a sudden the brain is like, hang on, we're all right without alcohol, we've got another energy source. But you start loading in glucose, and you suddenly become quite adhedonic, flatline. And so that is a really interesting, using ketones as a way to stop addiction. And obviously the best way to get ketones is from a fat, and fucking hell, low fat everything. No wonder we're all pissed.
I love that. And I do, honestly, Davinia, I have got to say, just personally for me, I really do love watching you on your Instagrams and how truthful and real and honest you are with everything. I love, like, there was one that I saw the other week where you were talking about the sun, where you were talking about the sun and how people, like, they're trying to hide the sun. And people would call a lot of the things that you say conspiracy stuff, when actually it does end up turning out to be facts, which, so we're very on the same level with stuff like
that. Because loads of people have been saying, they're trying to block out the sun. Oh, you're conspiracy nut. And then when the bloody government come out and go, look what we're doing, aren't we clever? You're like, wow, who's advising them to go public with that?
I know.
Crackers, aren't they?
I love what you're doing, and I love
the sun, thinking it's a good idea. I mean,
the energy source of life.
Estee Lauder out of business, so it's not in their interest anyway, the SPF lot. So, I'm like, well, happy days, no SPF then.
Yeah, it's the bravery behind what you do, and I just think it's really rare to see, and you do it in such a relatable way for people. So I'm really grateful for everything that you shout about on your Instagram, from recovery to covering the sun up to the wellness world. And I actually love your stuff as well. You changed my life the other day, because I struggle with collagen to have it in coffee. Don't care how many people tell me you can't taste it, I can. But you did something, it popped up on my phone, and you put the collagen into your electrolytes, and it has literally changed my world. I can now have it, and I'm really chuffed about that. So thank you for that.
You can put that collagen in pasta sauce. You can put it in anything. It just dissolves. You
sneak it into your kids' food, don't you?
It's an ingredient. It's not medicine. It's an ingredient found in meat, and I've just powdered it so it's easy to use. Just like dried anything, it's an ingredient just to be chucked here, there, and just some amino acids. It's just the building blocks for life. And of course it's going to systemically help you out in every which way, because people say, it's just been studied on hair and nails and your skin. And I'm like, but what about your inside frigging skin? That's more important. Oh, and there are studies on IBS and everything, but I don't give a shit about the studies. It's how you feel as a mom, as a working person, as somebody who's battling every single day to just frigging get somewhere on time. It's just a fast way to get some amino acids in you without tasting it. And if it's the first step, just to put that into even a bowl of soup, it's, it's great for the kids as well. It's not
Can
just
we keep you for one last thing, Davinia? Right, okay, so we've just started doing what we've called our fuck it moment, haven't we, Lise?
Yeah.
So at the end of our podcast now, we've just decided we're going to tell people what our brave fuck it moment has been. So it can be brave, bold, brilliant, anything in life that you think, you know what, I just thought, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
We want to turn it around from like self-destruction, fuck it, because that's what we used to do. It'd be like, fuck it, I'm going out getting smashed, or fuck it, I'm doing this. And we want to turn it around and make it, like Alex said, brave, wonderful, or just something for yourself where you go, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to say it, or fuck it, I'm just going to do it. So we need fuck it moments, and we want to know if you've had a recent fuck it moment or one that you might have going forward this week.
Okay. I mean, I kind of do it every day. Poor Matthew. Now what are we doing? I think for me, it's when I say something like doing, right, fuck it, I'm going to sign up for something ridiculous like a marathon. That for me was pinnacle because it gave me something to do. That this is somebody who used to park it next to the disabled, sometimes in the disabled.
I was just going to say that. Was it always next to it?
I've never told anyone that before. And if it wasn't available, I'd just turn around and drive home. I'm not going to Sainsbury's. I'd just order it online.
Oh, wow.
Order delivery. So this is someone who calculates in that sort of like insulin resistant brain. I could almost calculate the steps and how much more it was, like 4 steps. And I'd say that's too much for me. To somebody who pressed the fuck it button and said, right, come on, Matt. This is what I mean by Matt. We're signing up for the London Marathon for my 40th. And that was really scary because I'd not ran since cross country at school. You know what I mean? I could just about run a bath.
It's massive.
All of a sudden, you can do it. And I know I could do it tomorrow if I wanted to. I just can't be arsed. I'm like, whatever. I know I'm fit enough to do it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I did it. I did the Manchester one in the wrong train as we were late. And it's just not that big a deal now. But that was massive for me. And that was a pinnacle. And I had to prove to myself that I don't think marathons are healthy. I'll be honest with you. I really don't.
I've seen people's toes after marathons. Alex didn't pee yourself first.
They do. I mean, I don't go flat out. I'll be honest with you, because I was having an argument with Matt on the phone while running through Altrincham on the last one. And who knew Altrincham was built in the Himalayas? Because I'm like, fucking hell, who put a hill here? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what? Because he was meant to meet me somewhere because he was tracking me to give me like a blister plaster. And because I was like delayed, I'd gone past him. So I kept missing him.
Oh, no.
And so and he had to drop me off there as well. We live in Clitheroe, you know, so it was like getting in and out of town. It's like an hour. And so not only was like I virtually late, I missed my first wave. So that was stressful. I blamed him. Fucking idiot, you didn't leave. Fuck you, like that as I'm getting out of the car to get a pin me number. I didn't have any pins or anything. Just typical ADHD last minute. Let's wait for some adrenaline. I'd not done a charity, so I did that while I was running. I did that for Marina Dalglish for breast cancer. And I did that as I was running, managed to have a row. And then I had like Solomon trainers on that are for trail running. So they had no bounce in them. So I was getting blisters. So obviously that's Matt's fault. And so I'm bollocking him. And then
poor Matt.
He said, are you having a row? And I'm like, yeah, the dickhead. He can't find me, all this. And so I got to the end and I saw Matt right at the end and he lifted Jude over and Jude ran he was only like about 7 at the time. He ran the last sort of 100 meters with me. And then I got through the marathon and I eventually found him and he went, what a shit Sunday. And I'm like, are you sure? I've just run a marathon. He goes, I'd rather do that. I've had 3 kids in the back here trying to find a Boots that's open. We're racing around South Manchester while you're swearing at me on loudspeaker. He said, what a shit day.
Oh, bless him. That would be a shit day.
Do you know what I mean? That's a marathon that I'm just like, it was just a normal, I mean, that is a normal day. But that, compared to the London one where I was adrenaline, got to get to Greenwich, I had everything. And now it's just like, yeah, it's just a long run, you know, and it's just how things shift. I'm not scared of that anymore. I'm still disorganized though. So interesting, isn't it? How perception change of what's doable and what's not. Just press that fuck it button, sign up for a Tough Mudder with your mates, because they're great, because it's not about the time and it's about climbing over some stupid flipping wall and stuff. And they're really good. They are really good for your self-esteem because you work as a team, there's camaraderie. And I think those obstacle courses are way better than a marathon, to be honest, because they're daft as well.
You know what's really scary here, right? I can see Alex looking at me.
I've done one,
shall we do it? I don't care if you've done one.
No, I don't mean a deadly dozen. I don't mean a tough mudder. I mean, I've done a similar effort one this week. One of my clients has asked me if I'll do a deadly dozen, which is about do it as a duo. That's similar. So they're like labours with runs. But for me, I've done lots of running. I've done them, I'm like you, I've probably done marathons and half marathons. But you've got to have a certain mindset to do them. But I think when you're doing it with people and having a bit of a laugh, it's much.
Yeah, and it's the obstacles, because you kind of look forward to what's next, and it is very funny when you get stuck like in like knee high of mud and you lose. So there's no time pressure or anything. It's just
that's what's selling it to me.
We don't get that because it's all business rather than anything, just daft, innit? And
let's do one, Lisa. Come on, this will be your epic moment of the week. You agree?
If you promise that you don't worry about time, because this is what's selling it to me. I've just got back into running, and it's because I was talking to somebody again on this life-changing retreat that I've had, and they do marathons and running, and they said, we just do them and we stop and we take pictures and we do it. And I'm thinking, that's sense. And honestly, I said, I hate running though. And they were like, you're going too fast. And what I've done is I've slowed it right back down. I went Robin. I didn't go Robin.
You better not have been Robin again.
I went running at weekend with Rob because he's promised that he'd slow down. And honestly, it was so nice. So I'm kind of getting back into it. So if you promise, Alex, that you're not going to be like, super, I'm going to do it really fast, I will do it with you. But if you go all speedy,
sub two and all this, it takes hours to get around the tough mother thing. You've lost your trainer for half an hour. There's not a cat and else chance. And then you said, I don't know if they still do it now, but it's electrocute you. I mean, it's mental. It's like the old Krypton factor. But I mean,
even that program used to give me anxiety.
If anyone's struggling to get into running, what I did when I first started was get a playlist, of the songs that give you goosebumps. So I always end up going back to like Hacienda.
I've seen you this week with your Hacienda.
I'm
taking the kids actually to Hacienda Classical this weekend. I'm like, you're going to be ravers, not rockers. Anyway, basically what I did was, because I was so unfit, I did 3 songs, which isn't very long, but it got me out the door. 3 of my favorite songs, and I would walk the verse and jog the chorus. And before I knew it, I was kind of like jogging a bit of the verse as well. Yeah. And you just adapt. And by the way, our bodies were born to run. Every single able-bodied person was born to run. We are pre-programmed, because if you ran as a child, as in you ran in a playground, you ran to your mate's house, you ran, right, because your body has a DNA coding to do so. So as soon as you start that again, the body has the recipe for those proteins, for those mental endorphins, for those muscles to suddenly fire up, because it already has the code that you activated as a little one. So immediately, you don't have to relearn it. It's already got access to that DNA code that will make you do it again. So anyone who says, I can't run since cross country is fucking stupid. It's horrific, right? And that's why I think, every girl I virtually know, we all did like loads of like tennis, netball, hockey and all that. Then you hit 14, then comes the guy with the Ford Escort. Then that's that for sport. I'm off.
And a bottle of cider. Cider and a Ford Escort.
Until you have a nervous breakdown like me. And
I can picture the boys. I can actually picture the car and the boys that you're actually talking about.
You know them, don't you?
Yeah, and I bet they look like shit now.
They might not be alive.
God, for Facebook, you're like, oh my God, I could have ended up there.
I know, we've just been talking about that at the beginning, so that's really good.
Better than going through the exes that you were like sobbing over, and you're like, what in the brainwashed hell was I taking then? I blame it on Bill. I tell you, they say it makes your life choices dubious, But I mean, that is strong medication because they were not right, them lot.
I'm so glad you've said that, because now the beginning of the podcast don't make me look like such a dickhead.
James, you have no idea what I've been through.
Oh, well, I reckon if you just think about what you've been through, we're probably very similar, the three of us, which is probably why it's been so much fun chatting to you, actually. You've been brilliant.
Oh, it's lovely.
Thank you.
I'll have to come and meet you in person. It's nice, isn't it? I'd love to do that.
Oh, yeah, we're not even far either, so it'd be really cool. I'll come to Hacienda. That's
Saturday, my little afternoon rave with the kids.
I love that.
It is a good one, this, love. Listen to it. Listen to the strings.
Yeah. Oh, Davinia, thank you so much for joining us. You really are a legend, and it's been so lovely.
Fascinating. It's lovely to chat to you. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And to everyone listening, make sure you send us your fuck it moments, and we'll see you next week.